Good morning, everyone. Today the Ramban gives another insight in how a person can look at others, learn not how to judge the actions of others, in order that we should always remain humbled in front of the presence of our fellow Jew. And he writes, Rashu, if this person that you're looking at right now is destitute, he's a rosh, he's poor, and you are richer or wiser than him. You have wealth, you have financial stability, you have the chachmas haTorah, you have the wisdom of the Torah behind you. And this person is lacking that. He's poor in his wealth, in his monetary means, and he's considered to be poor in his wisdom as well. You should think to yourself the following. Now, even though that it's natural that when we see someone who is less than us, who's less accomplished, doesn't have the same amount of finances that we have, he is an Horowitz, which means someone that is an ignoramus when it comes to the realm of Torah knowledge. Naturally, we end up lifting ourselves up and looking down upon such a person. Says the Ramban, I'm going to give you a secret message that if you keep this in mind, you'll always learn to keep yourself humble and low of spirit around people that in your eyes seem to be less than you. You should consider the following thought. Ki ata chayev mimenu v'hu zakai mimcha. Which means that you should consider that this person is actually more righteous than you are. Even if you think in your mind you have more going for you, you have much more success in these two main areas of wealth and of chachma, of wisdom. Nevertheless, you are the one that's going to have to explain your actions to Hashem, and he's the one that's going to be considered righteous. Because if he does a sin, hu shogeg, he's considered to have done it as a result of mistake. He's a shogeg. He wasn't sure. He didn't understand. You are allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. What exactly is the halach, is the law? He didn't know, and he made a mistake. However, you, Mr. Great One over here, with your money and with your wisdom, and you make a mistake, ve'ata mezid, your transgression is deliberate, and you're going to be held to task as a result of that. Says the Ramban, it's easy in life to look down on others. It's simple to see the shortcomings and the faults that are there. And as a result of that, we often will build ourselves up and think, I'm so much more chashiv, I'm so much better than this person. And therefore, when I see them do things that are wrong, I laugh it off to their ignorance, or they couldn't do this because they don't have the same kind of monetary means that I have. Says the Ramban, it's the exact opposite. When you see someone that has less than you should think to yourself, must be that this person is actually more righteous than I am. Since that they don't know as much as me, they're not held as accountable when they make mistakes. Since they don't have as much money as me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't expect them to do good and proper things with their money. He's not expecting them to support the yeshiva or to pay full tuition. He's not expecting them to be the one who goes in shul, and when the meshulach, when the poor man comes asking for $1, he's not expecting for them to pull out a $20 bill. He's expecting 50 cents, $1, that's about it. But for me, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu expect from me? The more resources that a person has, whether in their monetary wealth or in their wealth of wisdom and of knowledge that they have, HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects more from that person. Therefore, says the Ramban, don't look down, don't judge, don't laud, don't put yourself up, because you have to realize, like the famous story with Rav Salanter. Rav Salanter once said over the following statement. He knew that he had the brain capacity of about 100 men. And in some ways in which they say over the story, he said that he had the brain capacity of 1,000 men. It sounds very great. Imagine what you could accomplish with the brain power of 1,000 men. You could learn through all of the Talmud. You could learn through everything. You could give lectures and shiurim and classes to the multitudes. Said Rav Yisrael Salanter, having the brain power of 1,000 men was a tremendous responsibility, because he was obligated in the Avodas Hashem, in the service of God, of 1,000 men also, which means that if he did anything less than that, so then he was falling short of his obligations in this world. We should look at what we have, at our strengths, and recognize the more that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us, the more that we have accomplished with our efforts and our hard work, the greater the responsibility we have to ourselves, to Hashem, to our fellow Jew and our fellow man here in this world. And when we see someone that has accomplished and achieved and is endowed from heaven with less than we are, we should always use it as a way to say, oh, they're justified in what they do, because since that they don't have as much, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not expecting as much from them. In this way, says the Ramban, we'll always be able to keep ourselves humble by looking at our fellow Jew with favorable intentions, dan lechav zechus, to judge them favorably, and that we should never lift ourselves up over them, rather we should lift them up over us. Wishing everybody a wonderful day.